Morning. Let's do some mat Pilates on this beautiful sunny Saturday morning. So today it's a mat and more, and we're gonna need a band or a strap or anything that will help you support or create some pull, and a cushion for comfort and for so that we can do some opening in the chest. So let's get started. So let's find our feet. So get into a nice comfortable position on the feet. So if you can go nice and parallel, you go ahead. Or maybe you need a little bit of a V, feel free to go there. And then from here, feeling that connection with the ground under our feet and kind of rocking a little bit side to side, getting that sensation of the weight shifting from the outside of the feet to the inside. And let's come back right in the center where there's no tension on the outside or the inside of the legs. And then let's lean forward. Let's feel that tension in the front of the leg, pressure on the toes. And then we'll lean back a little bit, feeling that tension in the body. And then we'll move slightly or slowly forward and back until we find that place on our feet where there's no tension either forward or back. Making sure the knees are slightly bent, nice and soft. Let's find our core. So engaging the inner thighs a little bit, like we want to bring our sitting bones closer together, or maybe we feel like we can make our hips narrower. Let's engage the belly too. Let's pull that belly in and lift up. Let's pull our spine nice and long, reaching even from the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. Moving the shoulders or rounding the shoulders forward, opening the chest, moving the shoulders back. Let's do that a couple more times. And then let's make sure that we stop halfway in between where we feel no tension either forward or back. Let's take a deep breath and release. Beautiful. So let's bend the knees a little bit. Let's check the knees to see where they're going and then come back up. Let's do that one more time. Let's add the arms. So let's inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, lengthening the legs and circling the arms. And again, inhaling, exhaling. And again, inhaling, exhaling. Let's do that one more time. Inhaling and exhale. Beautiful. Let's add. Let's inhaling, exhaling, lift on the toes. Release the arms, bending the knees. Press back up. Woo. Lower the heels, lower the arms. And again, coming up, lifting up on the toes. And bend the knees again, reaching up, releasing the heels. Beautiful. Let's just go up on the toes and down. Up on the toes and down. Ooh, balance is a challenge today. Good. Let's go. Let's do that 2 more times. Excuse me. Good. So now let's just take our heels slightly off the floor. So you may feel the floor under your heels, but there's no pressure under the heels. And then from here, let's bend the knees, keeping those heels slightly lifted, and then come back up. And again, bending the knees. And we don't need to go very far, just making sure the heels are staying off the floor slightly. Good. Let's do that one more time. Good, and then release the heels down. Beautiful. So let's take one leg. Let's find balance on one foot. So whichever foot you picked, let's switch leg. So now we are starting on our least comfortable side. So it doesn't have to be the same side as I picked. And then from here, we're going to slowly lift the knee and then lower the leg, drop the foot all the way down to the heel, and then slowly lift the knee and back down. So I'm going to make sure that we keep those hips nice and steady, nice and even, and trying to focus on lifting from that crease in the hips. So if you put your hand on the hip, on the crease of the hip, you should feel the movement happening from there. Good. And release the foot and back up. So we're going to do a little bit of a bouncing here. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to lift the knee and bring it down nice and slow. And then the toes touch down and lift. Lowering nice and slow. When the toes touch, heel down and lift. Lowering down nice and slow. Touch the toes, heel and lift. One more time. Lowering nice and slow. Touch toes and lift. And release. If you need to shake the hips a little bit, you go ahead. So now we're going to the other side. Finding our position, pulling up on a pelvic floor, belly is in. Think about those sitting bones coming closer together. And then slowly lifting and then lowering. Nice and slow. We're thinking about the front of the hip, just lifting and lowering. Let's do that a few more times just to really concentrate. We really want to focus on the sensations, on where we feel this. And can we bring that sensation right into the hip? Good. Let's do one more. Lift nice and slow. I forgot to tell you to bring the heel down, but that's okay. So now we're going to be doing that little bouncing. So slowly lower the leg. When the toes touch, bring the heel down and lift. And slowly down. Toes down, heel and lift. Slowly down. Toes down and lift. And again. Beautiful. Let's do that one more time. And lift. And release. Shake it out. Beautiful. Okay. So we're going to be doing the same thing. So we're going to start with the knee up. But this time, we're going to bring the toes back, heel down and lift. And slowly down, behind, heel lift. And again, slowly down, toes, heel, lift. Slowly down, toes, heel, and lift. One more time. Slowly down, back, heel, and lift. And release. Other side. So bring the legs slowly down, behind, heel, and lift. And slowly down, touching the foot back, down and lift. And again, down and lift. One last time. A touch, back and lift. And release. Beautiful. So from here, let's start with the toes back. And bring the heel down. And then lift the knee up. And then back. Lift the knee up. But this time, we're going to pull back, lean forward, and pull. And back and pull. You can use the arms. Good. And again, one more time. And let's go to the other side. And down and lift. And reach and lift. And reach and lift. And reach and lift. One more time. Good. And release. Shaking it all out. And then from here, we're going to find our way onto our seat. So let's see if we can do that without touching the floor with our hands. So I'm going to cross my legs. However, you can just sit back, bring the knee down. And from here, bring yourself down. That wasn't very graceful, but doesn't really matter as long as we make it to the floor without getting hurt. So if you need a cushion, feel free to take the cushion to be a little bit more comfortable. And then from here, let's bring one arm up. Let's lean over to the side and back. And again, reach over and back. And again, reach over and back. We're going to add a little bit more on that next one. Reach up and round to the front and up. And reach round to the front and back up. And now let's make it all the way to the other side. And forward and up. Forward and up. One more time. And release. Beautiful. We should feel some nice length in the side body. And then from here, hands on the shoulders, or you can cross your arms, and then we're going to twist. And then back. And twist. And back. So we're trying to keep those elbows open, like we have a strap pulling those elbows back. And let's keep that going, keeping the hips to steady. As we are twisting to, for me, it's the left right now, I'm going to push my left hip slightly forward. It is just the sensation of pushing the hip forward. It doesn't really move. But by creating that sensation of the hip forward, it's going to help us keep the hips from moving. Let's do one more. Now that rotation only needs to be as big as needed. It doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be anywhere, just making sure that we stay in that comfortable position. And that's good for anything else that we're going to be doing. So really feel free to go whatever works for you, basically. Good. So from here, let's bring our legs forward. Holding on to the legs. And then we're going to drop the bone so that we are lengthening the lower back. And then we're going to pull back. So here, I want you to imagine moving from the hips. So thinking about moving the tailbone or go on with the sitting bones where we're tipping the sitting bones or tipping the tailbone under and lift. Not so much rounding from the upper body, but thinking about just tucking the tailbone under and then bringing ourselves back straight. And again. And back. One more time. And back. Beautiful. Let's release the arms. And from here, drop a little bit. Now with that long lower back, I want you to open the front of the hips. So leaning back and coming back up. And again, don't think about moving your upper body. Think about what the movement of the hips is. So from here, hinge back by opening the hips, not by moving the upper body back and up. Now the upper body is going to move back, but it's not the focus of our movement. The focus of the movement is to open the hips and to come back up. Let's do that one more time. Open the hips. Make sure you keep that lower back nice and long. And bring it back. And release. You can shake the legs. If you need to. And let's now make our way onto our back. So from here, slowly bring ourselves down. And we are now into kind of a bridge position. Pressing the feet down into the floor. Let's inhale. And on the exhale, let's engage the glutes to lift up. And then bringing the hips back down. So for the first few, let's move through our spine. So rounding the back. So tucking the tailbone under. So think about moving from the tailbone all the way up. So now the tailbone is going to stay up as long as possible. And we'll bring ourselves back down. So let's get those glutes to work by thinking about squeezing the bum to make all this happen as we are lifting and lowering. Don't forget to sink the sternum down to keep the tailbone up as long as possible. Let's do that one more time. Tuck the tailbone under and lift, 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 and lower. Now we're going to find that imprint position where the lower back is long and touching the floor. Engage the core, engage the glutes, pulling up on the pelvic floor, and then lift. So no need to go all the way up. We want to stay into that comfortable position where we have that nice straight line. Pressing the feet down and squeezing the glutes as much as possible without letting the legs open. Keeping that contraction going and trying to get out of our hamstrings a little bit. So let's keep that tight glutes, taking some pressure off the hamstring. And then slowly bring our hips down. Good. Let's do that one more time. Find that imprint. Press the feet down, lift. So we really want to imagine that we are being pushed from under. So really supporting from the underbody. So holding here. And then from here, let's do some little squeeze. So keep those inner thighs pulling towards one another. Don't let go of the glutes because we want the glutes to push the hips up. And again, we want the glutes to open the front of the hips. Let's do that 2 more times. Come back to center and lower down. Beautiful. Let's pull the knees into the chest. Good. Let's go back. And from here, let's bring our feet a little bit closer together. If they can touch, that's good. So from here, we're going to bring ourselves into an imprint and lift the hips up. Get the glutes to engage. And then from here, try not to move the hips. We're going to open one knee and then pulling it back. Keeping those hips nice and steady, open and back. Beautiful. And open. Try to keep those ribs down. Don't forget to breathe. Try not to move the hips, just like if they were on the shelf. Good. One more time on each side. Don't forget to keep those glutes nice and engaged. Good. And release. And one more time. Pulling the knees into the chest. Rocking gently side to side. And then from here, let's make our way into a table. So with the hands under the shoulders and the knees right under the hips. Let's do a few cat-cow stretch here to loosen the spine. Good. Let's do that one more time. And let's release right here. Now, if it's more comfortable to be on the elbows, feel free to go there because we're going to be here for a while. So if you need to, grab your cushion, put it under your supporting knee. So from here, keeping a nice straight hips, we're going to extend one leg. Now to make sure the other knee stays right under the hip. And we're going to keep the toes on the ground to start with. And then from here, slowly engage the glutes and then pull the leg up, but we're not going to let it turn. So we're just going to engage our glutes and lift the leg without lifting the hip, without rotating the leg, keeping the hip right on top of the knee. Thank you, Peggy. So now you can see me, right? Sorry about that. Good. One more time. Use the glutes to lift the leg. Don't let it turn. And release. Bring the leg down and sit yourself onto that hip. Good. And then come back to center. Make sure the knee stays under the hip. Extend the other leg. Square off the hips. And from here, make sure the toes are touching the floor. Keep the legs straight. So there's going to be an engagement in the quadriceps in the front, the hip to keep that leg straight. Now squeeze the glute to take the leg off the mat or the foot off the mat. Keep that quadricep engaged to keep the leg straight. Squeeze the glute. Don't let the hip turn. Keep the knee right under the hip. That's it. Beautiful. Don't forget to breathe. Very important. And really focus your attention on what's happening in the hips and glutes. Squeeze the glute to lift and release. Sit back on your heel on that side. Good. And come on up. Beautiful. So for the next one, if you can put your foot on the floor or something that's going to help slide, we're going to go into a plank. I figured let's do that early so we are nice and rested, right? So elbows down and going into that plank, even if it's on one knee, we're going to have one leg long and the foot is going to be on the floor, making sure that the supporting knee is right under the hip. And we're going to externally rotate the leg that's on the floor, like we want to bring the inner part of the foot onto the floor. And then from here, keeping the hips from moving, slide the foot forward and then pull it back, engaging the entire body and then back. Keep making sure that the shoulders, the hips are staying nice and square, pulling it back and release. Sit on that side. Good. Let's go to the other side. So moving to the other edge of the mat into a half plank. Take the leg off the mat so that it can slide. Externally rotate the leg so that it's flat, or the inner part of the foot is flat on the floor. Keeping the hips square. Pull the knee up only as far as it feels comfortable and then pull it back. And again. 2 more. Last one. And release. You want to sit on the other hip. Taking the time to breathe. Good. Coming back to center. Let's go back on our back. Let's take our band. We're going to put the band under our feet or around both our feet. Crossing if need be. And then from here, we're going to engage the core. Let's pull the elbows out and then release. Now you could also do that without the band if you don't have one. From here, we're going to bring the elbows up, but we're going to think more about opening the chest, pulling the shoulders back, than pushing or pulling on the band. So the band is only there to offer resistance, not so much as the pull. So we're not looking at pulling. We just want to pull the elbows back. The hands don't have to come closer to the body. We're focusing on those elbows, squeezing the shoulder blades back, opening the chest. So let's add to this. So from here, pull the elbows back, chest is open, and then we're going to lift the chest towards the ceiling, and then bring it back, release the arms. Pull the elbows back, so the chest is open, so we're really opening the chest, keeping those elbows pushing out towards the outside or towards the side walls, and then open the chest. Use the band for support. Come back and then release. Let's do that one more time. So pull those elbows back, thinking about pushing them out towards the side wall. And then from here, lifting the chest. Keep those arms pushing to the outside and come back and release. Beautiful. And from here, let's make our way onto our back. Let's take the time for a breath or two to kind of settle ourselves. And let's take one leg up. Now here, if you want to help or create a little bit less tension, you can use the band to help support the leg. From here, make sure there's a slight bend in the knee. So if you feel the back of your knee, it should be a little bit soft. If you extend the leg too much, it's going to be harder. So make sure it stays soft. And then from here, see if you can get yourself into a little bit of an internal rotation. So think about your thigh and then pulling it so that the top of the thigh is aimed a little bit more towards the opposite shoulder. And then we're going to do some little circles, keeping nice and strong in our core. So ribs are staying down. Let's switch direction. So small circle, small circle. Think about turning that leg in. Good. And then release. Take a quick break. And let's bring it back up. And then from here, now we're going to keep the thigh or the kneecap straight. Make sure there's not too much weight on that side. The weight is evenly distributed almost on both sides. And then we're going to circle. So little circle. See if you can feel the thigh bone doing the circle. And then switch direction. Is there a little bend in the knee
making sure it's not hyperextended. Good. And release. Bend the knee. Let it swing a little bit and bring it back up. From here, make sure you have that little soft knee. Now take the top of the thigh and the kneecap and see if you can rotate it to the outside. Now it's okay to use our hands and kind of make it happen so that we can really feel the thigh moving. And from here, so let's do a little bit of little circles. And let's switch direction. Noticing if the circles are round, mine have a few angles in them, but I'm working on it. Good. And release. Beautiful. So let's take our cushion and we're going to put it behind our head, under our head. So we want to have our head elevated a little bit. Mine is a little bit too flat, so I'm going to fold it so I still have some space between my neck and chest, so I'm not folded completely. So from here, let's bring the arms up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, finding a nice neutral position, I'm going to bring the arms down and I'm going to reach a little bit with the arms. So this can be enough. Or if you are able to and it's available to you, you can keep that going and then back. So remember, you can keep the head down or you can bring the head up. So from the arms up, inhale, reach up a little bit, drop the ribs and lift the chest. And then bring it back. So the goal here is to move from the ribs. Yeah. Beautiful. Now let's do the same thing, but I'm going to put the hands behind the head. So here, I'm going to lower my cushion here. So from here, my head is still in the same position. And I'm bringing the elbows forward a little bit, like I want to reach for the side corner of the ceiling. And drop the ribs and lift. My lower back is still in a neutral position. And then back down. Okay, so let's create a little bit more of a focal or focus point for us. So we're going to bunch up our band or our strap, or if we have a towel, we can use a towel, and we're going to fill in our lower back. So right now, in a neutral position, we should feel our lower back being full. So supported neutral position. So the ribs are down. Notice the pressure on the lower back or the lower back onto the band. And with the hands behind the head or the arms up or with the cushion lifted a little bit, we're going to lengthen the back of our neck. We're going to drop the ribs and we're going to bring the head up. What's happening in the lower back? Are we created more tension or more pressure on the lower back? And then bring it back down. Good. So inhale. On the exhale, reach the elbows to the corner, drop the ribs, lift the head if that's available. If not, just drop the ribs, keeping the head supported on the cushion. Let's do that one more time. And release. So our attention was mainly on our lower back. So keeping the band where it is, we're going to pull or we're going to slide our tailbone away so that now the lower back is creating some tension on the band. So again, you can keep your head lifted or now you can bring the head down from here, keeping the pressure constant without creating a squeeze in the bum. So we're going to press the lower back down, the ribs are coming down, And then we're just going to slide or float one foot up and then release the leg. So we're going to move nice and slow so that we can feel the pressure on the band or that tactile feedback of the band on our lower back. And we're going to keep that pressure consistent. So take your time, bring your focus onto what's happening on your lower back, not thinking about anything else. Don't forget to breathe, that's very important. Let's do that one more time. And release, release your core. Beautiful. Let's take the band off. Can we reproduce that without that instant feedback? So let's find our imprint. So let's bring our lower back to the mat without squeezing the bum. But we still feel our sitting bones wanting to come closer together. And slowly lift one leg. And we want to move slow here. So we really have time to focus on what's happening. Good. And it's almost like a moving meditation. That's it. Don't forget to breathe. Moving slow, keeping the pressure on the lower back as consistent as possible. Noticing if the hips are shifting also. Are they shifting side to side? Good. And release. Beautiful. Shaking. Going side to side. And release. Beautiful. So let's take our band now. And we're putting it around one foot. It doesn't matter which leg. So this is to hold on to the leg so that we don't have to create too much tension. Make sure there's soft, it's a soft knee. And then we're going to lower the leg and then pulling it back up. And again. So notice your lower back. Is there any change in the lower back? Good. So let's go into a neutral position. So finding that comfortable position where the weight is on the sacrum. There's no pressure on the lower back. So trying to pull the leg as far up as we can or as close to the chest. Noticing what's happening in the lower back as we are doing that. Noticing what's happening in the ribs as we are doing that. And then slowly lowering the leg. Keeping the hips, so keeping the lower back from changing position. Maybe we can keep the leg going all the way down, maybe not, and that's okay. Maintaining that neutral position and then pulling it back. Let's do that. Let's try to bring it as far up as we can without changing the hips. Let's bring it back down nice and slow so we have time to notice what's happening in the hips, what's happening in the ribs, what's happening in our whole core. And then come back up. And release. Let's go to the other side. Okay, so find a neutral position. Let's pull the leg as close to the chest as we can without having to drop our lower back to the mat. And let's bring it down slowly, keeping the ribs down, keeping that slight bend in the knee. So here we may feel that we want to arch more. Let's see if we can avoid that. Nice and slow. Focusing on what's happening in the core. Making sure we are breathing. Good. As far up as we can. And release. Beautiful. Bring the leg down. Let's
come on up into a seated position. Beautiful. How are we doing? Take the time to breathe. Feel free to take a break whenever you need to. So the knees can be bent or legs can be straight. And then from here, if that is available to you, we're going to roll all the way down. If you're not supposed to roll down, you can hinge back. So I will show both. So from here, I'm going to drop the tailbone, letting myself go into a C shape, using the band for support, and rolling all the way down. And then from here, I can roll up or I can come up in any way that I need to. That you can keep that going. Or if you need to hinge, you're going to drop the tailbone to lengthen the lower back. Make sure the shoulder blades are back. And then you're going to hinge as far back and then release. And coming back up, same thing. Keeping the back straight to come up. So let's do that a few more times, either rolling down or hinging down. Good. Okay. So from here now, we're going to hold the band with, I'll start here, with our left hand, both sides on our left hand. So it's going to create a little bit of a rotation for me. So now my chest is open to the right side since I'm holding with the left. And I'm going to roll down in that slightly rotated position. Now feel free to hinge back if that's what you have to do. And again, roll down into that slightly twisted position. Good. Let's go to the other side. So now I'm holding with my right hand. My chest is open to the left. And then roll down. And roll up. Beautiful. And again. So you may notice that you are rolling up and down on the side of the spine, not right on top of it. And that's what we want. We don't want to be on a side completely. We just want to be off the center. Good. So from here now, I'm going to turn so you can see me. And from here, let's open the arms and we're going to tip to one side and then come back and tip to the other side. So I'm focusing more on lifting the opposite shoulder than I am dropping the shoulder towards the side I'm going at. So this versus this. So this is what we want. We want to keep a nice long spine. Now we may only be able to go here and that's okay. We may be able to go here and that's okay. It all depends on our range of motion. Either way, it's good. And up. One more time. Now coming back, I'm thinking about pulling the top rib down. Beautiful. So now we're going to put the two together. And you're going, okay, how is that going to work? Well, so hold with both hands. We're going to roll down just a little bit. And then from here, we're going to side bend. So we're going to let the right hand be pulled towards the left foot without rising the shoulder. And then from here, put both bend in one hand and roll up. Good. And the other side. Roll down to the center. Let yourself be pulled towards one foot and roll up. And again, roll down. Feel, so side bend and rotation
and come up and roll down, side bend, rotation, and up. One more time on each side. This is fun. Good. And roll up. One more time. Roll down, side, and up. Beautiful. Let's get rid of this. Let's find our way onto one knee. So time for cushion. So putting one knee on the cushion, and we're going to take one foot forward. Make sure that you are tucking your toes under on the other side. And from here, let's inhale. On the exhale, lean forward, take the knee off, and then bring it back, and then sit back, keeping the toes down as much as possible. And again, bend forward. Reach, press the back heel down as much as possible. Bring the knee down and sit back. And again, reach, lift. So nice straight diagonal line. Bring it down and back. One more time. Reach, 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 and down. So sitting back. So if you need to rest your hands somewhere, or if you can reach the floor, maybe you need to move your foot forward, and that's okay. So from here, we're gonna reach our hips back, and let's take the foot off, bring the foot down, toes up, sit back, bring the toes down. See if you can press the ball of the foot into the floor, and then lift. Now turn the toes in, reach forward, bring the toes out, and sit back a little bit more. So creating a circle, but can we make that movement happen by moving the leg instead of just the foot? That's it. Let's switch direction and circle. Good. That's it. And let's release. Okay, so keep the front foot exactly where it is and come on up. And now we're turning onto the down knee so that we are into an open position. So you may need to bring the foot forward so that we are into like a 90-90 angles. And then we're going to push towards that bent knee, and then we're going to come back. So lean forward. So notice my knee is going in the same direction as the toes, but I'm trying not to go too far past the toes. From here, I'm going to squeeze my inner thigh to pull in, and leaning forward. Squeeze that inner thigh to pull in. And again, and at the same time, pressing the foot down, I'm going to imagine I want to pull my foot towards me. And again, reach, trying to bring the heel to the inner thigh. That's it. Good. One more time. That's it. And let's stay here. Let's reach as far, rotate, and come down. And again, reach and rotate and back. And again, reach, rotate, and back, and come on back up. Let's go to the other side. So, with foot or the knee on the cushion, take the other foot forward. Get into that nice 90-90 position. And lean forward, letting the knee go right on top of the toes, maybe a little bit forward, but not too much. Feel that flexion in the foot. So thinking about opening and closing the ankle. So close, that's it. Beautiful. Coming back. Opening and closing the hip. Good. And then from here, reach, lift, and back. And reach, lift, knee down, and back. One more time. Reach, lift, down, and back. Holding it here, maybe moving the foot forward a little bit. Pressing the toes down and pull, toes down, pull, and then using the entire leg to circle. That's it. Good. So the leg is internally rotating, then externally rotating. Switch direction. Good. And release. Come on up. Bring the foot in. Keep the foot exactly where it is and turn. So you still have that 90 degree, but now you're facing the front or the side. And then lean to the side and pull. So using the inner thigh to pull, trying to pull the heel towards the knee and down and pull and away and pull and down and pull and down and pull and reach and circle and reach and circle. One more time. Reach and circle. Beautiful. And let's have a seat. Feel free to sit on your cushion. Good. And from here, let's stretch a little bit. So let's drop the knee. And then the other side. Good. And again. Beautiful. So we're going to inhale as we are switching. Exhale as we are dropping the knee. And up. And drop. Up. And drop. One more time. Exhale. Beautiful. So let's now sit in a 90 position. I want to face one knee and lean forward and back. So notice the sensation in your front hip. So whichever leg is front, that hip, notice how it feels. As soon as we feel a stretch, let's release. And leaning forward and round to come back. And forward. So staying with that, leaning forward. Let's give ourselves a little bit of a rocking side to side. Good. Making sure that we are breathing. That's very important. Every time we stretch, we want to use our breath because our breath creates a natural wave in the body. So noticing how when we inhale, we're releasing the stretch a little bit. And as we exhale, the stretch can get a little bit deeper. So let's do that one more time. Good. And release. So let's find our side laying position. Let's grab our ankle. And I'm going to push the knee as far away from our shoulders as we can. Let's push the ankle into the hand. And then on the inhale, we're going to let go. And on the exhale, we're going to try to pull the leg back as much as possible, keeping the spine nice and straight. Here, the tendency is going to be to want to arch. Well, we're going to try to avoid that. Exhale. Pull. Inhale, let it come back in. Exhale and pull. One more time. And pull. And release. Both knees lay down on your side. And then reach forward and circle the arm. Take a time to find those sticky spots, still reaching as far as we can. So trying to touch the edge of our 6 foot bubble. That's it. Let's switch direction. Reach, 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 reach. And breathing. If you find some sticky spot, you can hold. So I'm going to hold here with my chest open. I'm going to flex the wrist, make a fist, stretch the fingers, finish my circle, and use that momentum to come up. Beautiful. Let's go to the other side. That 90-90 position. Feel free to elevate your hips. So if it's better for you to be on a cushion, you can do that too. So facing the knee and then lowering yourself down on the exhale. As soon as you feel the stretch, round and up and down, round and up and down, round and up. One more time, exhaling, rounding and lifting and forward. And let's rock side to side. Remembering that if we feel some areas that go, wow, this is good, and then you can just pulse there a little bit, maybe drawing a little circle with the body. You can move in any way that you feel comfortable. Good. And let's make our way onto our side. So grabbing on to your ankle. Now, if you need a strap or anything, you can also hold on to your pants or your socks or your shoes. And then from here, without arching the back, on the exhale, push the foot into the hand and pull the knee back. And then release on the inhale, exhale, and pull. And release. And pull. And again, and pull. Holding it, that feels good. And release. Good. And then from here, both knees forward. Reach and circle the arms. Remember to stop anywhere that feels like you need a little break. Good. And let's switch direction. If you want to stop at any point in the circle, you do that. And letting yourself drop a little bit if that feels good. Good. Last one. Reach, 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 reach. Move your hands if you feel like it. And reach and release. Let's come on up. Good. So sit on a cushion or anywhere or any way that feels comfortable. And let's stretch the front because we spend a lot of time now kind of leaning forward. There's not much. Everything we're doing since we're home is kind of playing on our computers. We are like this a lot. So let's see if we can lengthen our front of our neck. So from here, let's bring our hands onto our collarbones. Let's lift the shoulders. Put the weight of the hands on the collarbones, dropping the shoulders, dropping the elbows, and then lifting the chin. And let's draw some circle with the chin, thinking more about making that circle with the chin and keeping the back of the neck nice and long. Make sure that you're only using the weight of your hands. Switch direction. Uh, that's it. Good. Release the hands. Beautiful. And then from here, let's just sit just for a moment. Close your eyes. Think about your breath. Let's see if we can inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Let's take the time to focus on what's happening in our physical bodies. So, noticing how we feel now. Maybe we have some discomfort because we're not sitting comfortably, and it's okay to readjust. Now, how are we doing now mentally and emotionally? Maybe we feel less anxious, more anxious. Maybe we feel tired, and it's okay. All those emotions, all those feelings are normal. We just need to observe them, notice them, acknowledge them, and let them go. And that's it for today. So I hope you had a great class and go outside, enjoy the nice sun, and I hope to see you guys in person very soon. Miss you guys. Have a great day. Namaste.